I'm Amber Tresca, and this is About IBD. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis as a teen and had J-pouch surgery 10 years later. Now, I help people with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis understand their disease and feel seen. On About IBD, you'll get real talk on symptoms, treatment, and life with IBD, straight from patients, caregivers, and experts. You'll learn, feel less alone, and even have a laugh along the way. Sarah McGovern is a certified travel advisor, business owner, and proud mom who knows firsthand just how valuable family time is. She understands how overwhelming it can feel to plan a vacation that truly works for everyone. She started Halcyon Travel Company to help families enjoy seamless, stress-free vacations that create lifelong memories. Sarah also lives with an IBD, so she thinks about travel from an accessibility standpoint. Sarah, welcome to About IBD.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to finally meet you.
Same. When we started talking, you reached out to me, which I so appreciate. And then we realized that we live in the same state. And so why don't we get together and do this in person? So slightly different way than I normally do the show, but I think it's going to work out really well. And I appreciate you being so willing to meet me. We haven't met before today in person, and come to a third location and record with me and 3 cameras and microphones in your face. So I appreciate you.
I'm
being
always
so
up for
game.
new adventure. So let's do it.
I figured that might be the case, considering that you are a travel advisor, that maybe this wouldn't be such a big lift for you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a writer from home for a reason, so it is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I like getting pushed out of my comfort zone. Yeah. So, all right, well, I'm just going to start peppering you with questions. We're going to talk about some travel today.
Let's go.
But the first thing that I want to know is about the ulcerative colitis. We always start out on kind of a bummer, but we'll end it up a little higher. So tell me about your journey, maybe about how you were diagnosed and what that was like.
Yeah. So I was diagnosed back in 2003. So I have had this for about half my life now. And, it started off kind of mild and progressed over the years.
Yeah.
I have been on every medication possible, tried every natural route, tried, any supplements and, acupuncture therapies. I've run the gamut of.
So you didn't just leave it at medications and then go further. You tried everything, really.
I was trying everything.
Yeah.
And after a few hiccups with medications, one of which caused pancreatitis, so I was hospitalized for that twice. It's like 0.1% of people get pancreatitis from a certain medication, and hi, that's me. So fun. Finally, and then had to go the biologic route and all of that. And thankfully, I've been in remission for about 2.5 years or so now. Finally found something that works. And I'm very grateful to have that, because it, struggles going through your 20s with the disease, but then also becoming a mom at one point. And, I had one of probably the worst flare of my disease when my son was about 1 for the first couple years of his life. So having to navigate it, with a toddler, with the exhaustion and the pain and all of that stuff was really tricky, but we navigated through, and here we are finally in remission. So, so it's been a roller coaster of a journey over the years. But.
I want to ask you about the pancreatitis, though, because I think you may be the first person that I've had on this show that's come up. Do you remember, how did it present and how did they diagnose that?
It took a while for them to figure out what it was.
I bet.
I had pretty severe pain in my back, my mid back on my left side that would radiate kind of around the front. And, for a long time, I just thought it was like back pain or something, or we really had no idea what it was. And they didn't know that it was related to the medication either. But I had just started, it was actually like a 5-ASA medication that I had started not too long before this pain started. And I guess they just ran some blood work, like my pancreatic enzymes, and they were like through the roof. So I remember they called me one morning and were like, you need to immediately go to the emergency room.
Oh, jeez.
But this was after dealing with the pain for a few weeks. And so I was in the hospital for a couple of days with that. And then they kind of put it together that, it's probably this medication, even though it's super rare.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't want to believe it at first. They were looking at other things like my gallbladder, because that can cause pancreatitis. So they removed my gallbladder as a precaution.
Oh my gosh.
So that was fun. So that was quite the journey. And then they kept me, I stopped taking the medication orally, but they kept me on it topically for a few years thinking, okay, it's not going systemically through your body and it'll be fine. And then about a year after my son was born, it happened again. And I actually pinpointed it. I knew, like, because the pain was
what it felt
so
like.
familiar.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't feel right. And I called my doctor and I said, hey, can you request some blood work for my pancreatic enzymes? And again, they were like through the roof. So they were like, you are never taking anything that has to do with this medication again.
Right.
And thankfully I've been fine for almost 10 years since that. It hasn't happened again. So yeah, but it was like it was a very sharp, like left-sided pain.
Yeah. And it's like, what is that? That could be so many things. So you just start going down the list, and pancreatitis is not high up on the list.
And because I didn't really have, I was in my mid-20s, I wasn't, there were no other like things that typically causes pancreatitis that would cause it. So they weren't even thinking of it. So yeah, but luckily it was like just because there's acute pancreatitis, which is that, or chronic, and it didn't turn into like a chronic issue, thankfully.
Is it kind of, I'm going to put like something in your brain that's probably you don't want there. But is it in the back of your mind sometimes that like you just go to take like anything really, cold medicine, like I don't know that it's associated, but I'm just saying like anything that you consider to be maybe a little benign, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, like what if this could cause pancreatitis? I think that might bother me. Not even just pancreatitis, but I seem to be that person who is like the 0.1% of everything. Oh no.
So, if I have any weird reaction to something, it's like, of course I do.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, any new medication. And I think that's why I was so hesitant to go on biologics.
Sure.
And why I did like the natural route.
Yeah.
Because it was after that, then I started looking into other options, because I was like, I'm scared of these medications now. Yeah. Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
So that's what led me. But the natural thing, really, nothing worked.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And probably not getting traditional care for as long as I did probably could have made it worse, at some point. But I'm just grateful that research has improved so much in the last even decade.
Yes.
That the medications have gotten so much better and more effective, that, we are where we are. And that kind of gives me hope for the future too. So,
yeah. 100%. Yeah. 100%. So we really want to talk about travel after we're done with the whole pancreatitis debacle. I want to talk about travel and IBD because it's not easy to do. And I think for myself, sometimes I think about maybe going back to someplace I've been before versus going someplace new, because I might already know where the bathrooms are and what I'm up against there. So what are your suggestions for people with IBD about planning travel?
And I share that same sort of feeling that you do. It is, it's always easier to kind of go somewhere familiar where you know where everything is. First of all, research, is I'm a research junkie and I love to learn about new destinations and all those things. So I really get into the specifics of destinations. What are the accessibility options? How many bathrooms are located? And so I mean, some of my favorite trips for me personally to take because of it, and to suggest to people, are things like cruises are wonderful because you're so close to your room. If you need to just lie down and take a nap, it's literally steps away. There's bathrooms on every floor. You can always find something. And they're also really great with dietary restrictions too. When you make a reservation, you note any issues that you may have. So it's on there. And then when you get to the dining rooms, they know of your allergy or whatever aversion that you have. But also there's medical team on board. There's a doctor on every ship. So God forbid something were to go wrong, you have that, a person there to like help you and things like that. So those feel like they just always feel like very safe places, if you need anything. But yeah, just looking into places that, are accessible. Theme parks are great. Any of the theme parks are all sort of, really accommodating to any disability, not just IBD. And they have 1 million bathrooms available, which is great. But even, doing things like road trips or traveling to Europe or anywhere else, it's a matter of just doing research in terms of exactly where you're going, what your specific needs are, and finding what kind of works best for your situation so you feel comfortable. I feel like the more that I know about something and the more prepared I am, the more comfortable I feel, even if I've never been there. So,
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I worry that like I don't deal well with uncertainty. So it's kind of like, and nothing is really certain in life. You could be the 0.1% of people that get pancreatitis, so it's kind of like trying to, and also like control issues. I think maybe that sort of is something, as people that live with IBD for a long time, it just sort of like happens to us, unfortunately, But to your point, being able to do the research so that you do feel comfortable can go a long way towards making you feel like, okay, I can go on this vacation and maybe relax. I don't know. I don't know what that word means.
I'm the type of person who runs, like I will like visualize the whole step of my trip, just so I'm like, okay, I'm going to be here, here, and here. And like, I'll even like Google Street Map things so I can see it. And it just brings that level of comfort. So, okay. And even like, say you were going to a museum or something, like looking at the museum map and being like, okay, the bathrooms are here on this floor. So or wherever. So just kind of knowing when you enter the building, like, okay, this is where everything is. So if I need something, I kind of have an idea of it. And doing that in advance. So that's what has helped me over time. Yeah.
Agree fully. Yeah. And also sometimes having that information and knowing it is calming enough that then you feel like I might not have a problem.
Exactly.
I think that's especially true for ulcerative colitis. I don't know about Crohn's disease. I can only speak from the ulcerative colitis standpoint, but I think that the anxiety definitely comes into play there. So knowing where things are and so many things, I think you have to know that a lot of places do put maps online. You can find that information, or we could do it old school and just get on the phone and call somebody and ask them and, and do that too.
Yeah. Most places have everything available to you if you just take the time to look for it, or, that's kind of where I come into play for my clients, is doing that research for them. And I like doing it. So it's not like it's a tedious chore for me. But just feeling as prepared as possible. So.
Okay, let's talk about packing for a minute. And I'm going to make a confession. Hello, my name is Amber, and I'm an overpacker. And I feel like that's because as people with IBD, we literally don't know what's going to happen to our bodies and what we're going to need. So it comes from years of packing an extra set of clothes, maybe being worried about forgetting something, being stuck somewhere. I mean, because it only has to happen to you once. And it has happened to me more than once, that you're making do somewhere that is less than optimal for what you're experiencing. So I'm wondering what you think about with packing as a travel advisor, and especially from that accessibility and that IBD standpoint.
Yeah. So a couple of things. First, packing. I have an incredibly detailed list for my family that I keep like on my computer, and I use it for every trip and then update it. You know, if I say I forgot something, I'll update it for the next trip or take something off. And then, you know, adjust it depending on where we're going or whatever. And I've kind of taken that, and I also have created them for my clients in terms of, you know, if you're going to a theme park, here's a packing list. And if you're going on a cruise, here's a packing list. Not as specific as, you know, my family's one, but more of a generic one that people can, you know, customize what you need. So for me, my packing list is my number one thing. And my son now, he's 10. He knows the ritual of packing. The list comes out. We got to go through everything. We check it off. He goes step by step with me. So because I am also an incredible overpacker, I'm getting better with it. And we've actually moved to carry-ons, which is like shocking.
Yeah.
But it is so much easier to travel with, but I've been able to whittle it down. Packing cubes are a lifesaver because they squish everything. So you can like
double squish. It's like you squish it in the packing cube and then you can squish it in your luggage again.
So it allows you to overpack without doing that. Two things from an IBD standpoint, I always have kind of, I don't want to say it's like an emergency kit, but it's just kind of something that I keep in my carry-on bag or my bag that I'll be taking out with me that have certain things that 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to need, but just make me feel more comfortable that knowing that they're there. You know, things that I needed, you know, now being in remission, I really don't need things as much, but things that I needed, you know, in the middle of a flare that were like life-saving emergency kits, you know, just like extra pairs of underwear, wipes, things like that, and just having them with me at all times. That is always a go-to. But also to help with the overpacking, you know, more recently, I have been finding places that have laundry and making it a point to do laundry on vacation. Because, you know, instead of packing 5 pairs of shorts, you can pack 2 or 3 and just wash them. And then you don't have to bring as much. And, you know, the same goes, you know, and then if you multiply that for everyone that you're traveling with, it just really condenses everything down. And I know people are like, I don't want to do laundry. I'm on vacation.
Sure, of course.
But I just find that it's, you know, so much easier. You throw it in at night when you get back from what you're doing. And it's done and ready for you. And then you don't have as much laundry when you get home.
Yes.
You know, it only becomes minimal. So that's kind of become a real crucial thing for when my family travels now. I'm always like, okay, I want to make sure it has laundry. And I'm finding that more of my clients are looking for places, especially people traveling with kids.
Yes.
Because, you know, with kids, like they'll just spill things and, you know, you do have to bring extra clothes for kids. For them, so having laundry is so much easier. So that's been a real help in the overpacking situation.
Yeah. I like to do laundry. It sounds wild, but when I can work it out, I will do all of the laundry before we leave. You know, like Disney's
it's like a
good
gift
for
to
that.
yourself when you come home.
It is. Then I come home and then we just like put most of the stuff away and don't worry about washing it. It is a tiny little gift to myself. When we went to Europe, our plan was to do laundry, but it's not like the hotels have washing machines. So it was more of a hotel laundry situation. The cost was a little eye-popping. But when you considered if we didn't do that, we would have had to bring more luggage, and now checking luggage costs X.
Yeah, like you have to you have to factor all of those things in, you know, which is more. And traveling to Europe is interesting too with that. I mean, we went to London last year and we did have a hotel that had self-service laundry, but they didn't have dryers available. And we also stayed in a house that had a washing machine, but didn't have a dryer. So we had to hang everything. And that's much more common in Europe, which, you know, you don't think about. You say like, oh, there's a washing machine, not
there's going to be
thinking
a dryer, not
that,
thinking.
it's just, you would, in America, they come together, but there they don't. So you have to take that into consideration. That was a fun surprise, but
for your timing.
So we just had clothes hanging everywhere, but it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, I love to hang stuff, especially outside in the summer, and I like to hang my towels out and whatever, but like, you got to have a whole day to do it.
Yes.
It's not a quick thing.
You have to plan that more.
You have to plan it. Yeah. So that's a good tip. Make sure that there's actually a dryer, if you're traveling overseas.
Yeah.
All right. The other big thing, food.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experienced not only for myself and my own restrictions, which are not too many, just like I can't eat too much like kale. Okay.
Same.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like other things I can get away with, but like kale is an absolutely completely off the menu.
Can't either. Yeah.
But I'm also an allergy mom. Mm-hmm. So we were dealing with that as well. And that, of course, is more than just when it comes to me, I'm like, okay, whatever. So I don't feel good for a little while. Big deal. But when it comes to like an allergy, that's really like a more serious situation. And you don't want to ruin everybody's vacation with stabbing somebody with an EpiPen and then going to the hospital. So what are your thoughts? Do you have any kind of a playbook for thinking about food when there's, this multi-generational, and there could be probably more than one person that has some kind of restriction?
And again, that goes into the research part too. When I'm planning trips for people, like one of the services I offer is to like really get into detail and plan like dining, all of their restaurants and things, or even just give suggestions. And so many places have menus online now. But the thing is, restaurants that don't have their menus online, I won't recommend to people, especially if they have knowing if there's some sort of issue, because, I need to know that they're going to be safe, or, there's food, I have a few restrictions to food that I can eat. I don't have an allergy kid, but I have a very picky eater. So I have to make sure that there's things available for him. Mm-hmm. But just, doing that research, making sure, like, for instance, I have a client who's going to Greece this summer with her family, and one of her kids has a shellfish allergy, which is terrible to go to the Greek Isles with a shellfish allergy. Yeah. And they're doing a cooking class, and, she's super concerned, like, do you think we'll be able to do it? Like, what are they going to make? So, I was able to contact the destination management company that I'm working with, who contacted the person doing the cooking class, got the menu of what they'll be making, just to, make them feel more comfortable. Like, okay, everything on there is safe. They know, what they're doing. And it's also a matter of informing, where you're going, that you have the allergies. So, if you are, say, going on a cruise, letting them know and let everybody know, and then they'll be more aware, or, letting the restaurants know. I found that Europe is actually way more friendly than here. Yes. And I was so surprised by that. I didn't really know that. And I mean, everywhere we went, every place was asking.
It's the first question they ask. Yeah. Sit down.
Which doesn't happen here.
No.
And you would like it, because it's so prevalent, you would think. And I was really pleasantly surprised by that. I felt much more comfortable there than I expected to. So I think, I do have a lot of clients that are worried about, going abroad, like, oh, what's the food, are they going to do it? I'm like, I have to tell you, you feel way more at ease there than you probably would here, because they are very conscious of it. So that was really nice. But just, doing the research. And if you do, have really, really specific things, making sure you're staying somewhere that's close to a grocery store so you can go shopping and get like essentials, or even like breakfast foods, or things that, like I can't eat eggs. So a breakfast is like, and I don't like sweet breakfast. So like breakfast can be a little tough for me. I know. So it can be a little tough. And so, just having a place, knowing that we're staying somewhere that's either near like a bakery where I can get like a croissant or like something, or a grocery store that has like fresh fruit that I can go get, knowing that that is nearby. So planning where you're staying around that kind of stuff is super helpful, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I really don't like, I don't necessarily get into that much of planning, but I don't like staying at a hotel that does not have like a restaurant on site. Like that doesn't, go well for me. So.
And it's hard, like, a lot of, staying at like Airbnbs and stuff are becoming more common.
Yeah.
And I like having like a restaurant. So I tend to not be as much of the Airbnb traveler, but if I do, I need to stay somewhere that has something nearby.
All right, Sarah, we have been talking about travel, and you've given so many reasons why that working with a travel advisor is important. What about for people living with IBD, or even let's just open it up to, people that need to find things that are accessible for one reason or another? Like, what's the advantage of working with someone like you?
Yeah. I actually get asked that all the time because
justify your existence.
Well, it's, with online travel booking today, people are like, it's so easy to just go to Expedia or Priceline or whatever.
Is so not.
And they're like, so why do I even need you? And the thing is, there's so many options out there.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know you're getting not even the best deal? A lot of people are like, do you have good deals? And I'm like, I'm not about the deals per se.
Right.
It's what fits you and your family best.
Right.
And, part of my job is just to constantly learn about what's out there. I take multiple webinars a week from different suppliers just on updates on, their new products or their new offerings, or, cruise lines, here's our new ship, or this is our, one with Marriott, here's a new hotel we have, or anything. So I'm always just learning more about the industry and what's out there. And, also part of what I do is to form relationships with different suppliers. So having that relationship, knowing that, we're advocating for our clients if they need something. So it's basically just like having somebody in your corner to help assist you. Like you're going on vacation to not have stress, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So why should it be stressful to plan it? And it just makes it, did I, when you get there, did I actually finalize that car rental? Did I make that dining reservation? Things like that. So knowing that it's all kind of handled for you, don't have to worry about it. That's what we do. And then, hopefully it won't happen, but things happen when you travel.
They do.
Especially people, with IBD and things, you don't know if you're going to have a health issue, if something's going to come up. So it's nice to have someone to help you in your corner. It's like, if you book with Expedia, you're calling an 800 number and you're going to get someone you've never spoken to that doesn't know anything about you, your trip, your situation. If you've been working with a travel advisor, I know your family's names. I know what your kid's like. I know, exactly your itinerary and where you're supposed to be today. So I'm there to help in that situation. I mean, I prefer when my clients don't call me on vacation because that means everything is kind of going smoothly and there's no hiccups. So I don't like hearing from them, but when I do, of course, it's like, I will help them in any way possible. And, that happens a lot, especially living up here in the Northeast. Winter travel is wildly unpredictable. And, I've had in my own travels this past winter, with all the snow that we had here, we were traveling. I was on a business trip and then meeting my family, and my husband and son got like stuck in the snow, and we had to like navigate all these things. And I was like, I wish I had a travel advisor to help me with this. I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah. I don't want to be rebooking flights and all
for
of
my
that.
family.
Yeah.
I wish somebody was here to help me. But so it just all of that. It's just having someone to assist you and, and plan all those details for you. So.
Yeah, I love it when I travel sometimes for work and I'm, working with a client that plans to travel. It really does feel like having your nails done. I mean, it's like showing up at the airport and having somebody like having a car there and like what, or even just having like a phone number to call and just, again, it takes away that unpredictability a little bit. I mean, stuff does happen. We absolutely landed in London and the driver was not there. Yeah. And then, I had to basically just go and get us a cab, which is not a difficult thing to do at an airport. We just went to the cab station, and it's something that I'm used to from traveling so much for work. But we did have somebody to call and be like, what is going on? And, how is this going to impact the rest of our bookings and, all of that. And having also that intermediary, we called our travel agent. She dealt with them. Yeah. Like I didn't have to deal with them. Right. I didn't have to.
Knowing that you can still go and enjoy your vacation and all that stuff is being handled for you. And you'll get an update on what it is.
Got an update.
Because otherwise you're going to be calling whoever.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no.
I want to fly all the way to London to like be on the phone with random
I know, exactly.
car driver people. You know?
No one wants to deal with that. So, and also like, I personally always make sure my clients have travel insurance.
Yes, we absolutely do.
And a lot of people just don't think it's necessary or, they're like, oh, we'll be fine. So I like to share, even my personal stories, not just my client stories about how, that trip I mentioned back in the winter with my husband's son, we had to rebook so many things and they had to move days that they were traveling. We had to do all this stuff. And I got, I think about a $1,600 reimbursement from the insurance company.
Right.
Otherwise we would have been out that money, but I felt fine. I was like, fine, let's just rebook it without having to think of that sort of monetary portion. Like, oh, can we afford to do this? I'm like, well, I have insurance and they're going to cover this. So we're good. So it sort of adds that peace of mind. So it's also like educating my clients about, this is why things are beneficial. I know it's extra money, but in the long run, it's like, it's another peace of mind that you'll have.
Right.
So, so it's just kind of helping people, think of things that maybe they haven't thought of before or even finding really cool experiences, that I have access to or that I've seen, on, one of the trainings I've done, that they might not know about. So it's just kind of having that knowledge, but also the advocate for you. So
yeah, love it.
Or a therapist, whatever,
therapist,
whatever you feel like, whatever it is that day.
That
Sometimes
definitely has come into play. Yeah. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Up next, hear from a travel advisor about some travel hacks. All right. We're going to get to what might be both of our favorite question that we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about Disney for a minute.
Okay.
I've been to Disneyland once, Disney World many times, and I enjoy Disney World and Disneyland as well, because a lot of the issues around food and bathrooms and accessibility are already dealt with and solved, and I don't have to think about that kind of thing. So I guess I'm going to be a big advocate for people with IBD going to Disney. But I'm wondering from your perspective, how you think about it and what you tell your clients that are looking for those, looking for the bathrooms in the theme parks or looking for the, the food allergy menu, things like that.
So I've been going to Disney for over 40 years now. I've probably been there. I don't even know.
I stopped counting. We were trying to figure it out. I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah.
And it's always been like a second home to me. But, when I got IBD and especially during flares and stuff, it was the only place that I felt comfortable traveling to for years.
Yeah.
We didn't really venture out anywhere else and kept going back to Disney. And people are always like, why do you go to Disney so much? I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it really is the only place that takes any sort of accessibility, like, give it IBD or whatever, anything really into deep consideration where you can feel comfortable traveling there with your family. And like you mentioned, that's how I found you online, was about the multiple bathrooms. And I was like, this is exactly why I go there. Cause there's literally bathrooms every, everywhere. 30 feet.
And I've been in them all.
Yes, I know exactly. You could plot me anywhere and be like, where's the closest bathroom? I'd be like, right over there.
Yep.
So yeah, that just, it makes everything, way more comfortable. But, the food part of it, they have separate allergy menus at every single restaurant that you can request. Well, when you make your dining reservations, you can list any allergy that you have, and then that'll be on your reservation when you show up, and they'll give you a special allergy menu. And then the thing that I like the best, because there was a time, when I was trying all different natural ways that I was doing every elimination diet under the sun. So I wasn't eating gluten or dairy or anything for a while. But so when you actually flag those things and say you have an allergy, the chef will come out to your table, and it's a non-negotiable there. If you say you have an allergy, the chef is coming out. And so now that I'm kind of more aware of what I can eat, there are certain foods I can't eat straight. I can eat eggs cooked into things, but I can't eat scrambled eggs. And I can't eat bell peppers. So I can pick that stuff out of a menu. So I tend to not, when I'm at Disney, not tell them that, because then it alarm bells go off and the chef comes out and it's not that serious. Becomes a whole thing. And I'm like, it's not that bad. I'm okay. But that's how serious they take it. So it can make people with any sort of food issue just so much more comfortable. And that's not just the restaurants that you sit in. It's the quick service locations. It's the grab and goes. It's everywhere. Everything. It's like that. So everything is really super comfortable. And, I think you might have mentioned this to me, but it's a little unfortunate how their policies have changed on their accessibility. So you used to, and I mean, I used to, which was great when I was having flares, be able to take advantage of, you could get, what is it called? The DAS pass. So it's a disability access service pass, where you would, prior to your trip, you call in, you have a video interview with someone to determine your need for the pass. And then you would either get approved or denied for a pass. And they still have this, but they really only limit it now to people with autism or sensory disabilities, things like that, who can't wait in line for long periods of time. And it's really unfortunate that they've changed it for people like us, because I mean, there were many times even before having the pass, I would have to run out of a line.
100%.
Yeah. And leave my family and be like, I gotta go. Yeah. So having that made me feel so much more comfortable about being there. So, I wish they would reconsider stuff like that, but there were people who were abusing the system, unfortunately. But there are ways to get around that. And, someone who I kind of know all the tips and tricks on Disney is to how to avoid waiting in lines. And, you can utilize the lightning lane system to avoid doing that and all of those things, which again, you have to pay extra for, but for me, it's 1,000 times worth it. So just to again, have that peace of mind, that I'm not going to have to run somewhere in the middle of, waiting after waiting an hour, waiting a long time. And then you're like, ugh. But yeah, there's also things, I mean, you can always talk to cast members. I have found that they are so accommodating there as well. As long as you are nice to them and explain your situation, they're going to do anything they can to help you. So if you're like, I can't wait on this line because, of this issue, oftentimes they will let you come back, okay, wait this long and come back and I'll let you in. And if you can get that personal one-on-one relationship with them. So I don't know.
Yeah. It absolutely, I almost died doing this, but I did do it one time. I was waiting for the safari that I can't remember the proper name for it right now, in Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have Lightning Lane. We were on a school trip, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, everyone was in line. I came out and I said to the cast member, I have really got to go to the ladies. And they said, are your people in line? I said, yeah, actually they are. And he said, tell them when they get to the end to just tell the cast member there, let them hold for a second. And then when you're done, come back. And then he told me that the super secret way to get back into it. And then I met them there. And so it wasn't like I was trying to subvert anything. Yeah. It was like they were waiting in line for me. So sorry to my friend that was doing that. But it worked it out so that I could still go on the ride.
Right.
We did wait in the line. I wasn't trying to, get any special treatment, but honest to goodness, I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro Safari, that's what it's called. Yeah. And they were so lovely about it, and so I think I learned for myself, like, just ask for help, even though it's like, ask for help. What? Why? No, not me. But if you do that,
that's a autoimmune type of person.
Yes.
You don't ask for help.
No.
Because you're used to you tough it out through everything. So I don't
want to be accused of trying to like subvert.
Exactly.
Because I would never, I mean, I never got one of those. I didn't know it existed years ago. Mm-hmm. I didn't know until I think I was traveling with someone who lives with an ostomy. Mm-hmm. And we were like, we absolutely have to do this. Yeah. There's just no, and it's like, come on. Can we go by ADA rules?
Yeah. I didn't think about it either for the longest time. Yeah. I didn't think because I was like, I don't have I always thought of it as somebody who can't physically stand,
right,
or has some like physical limitation that they can't do that. And it just dawned on me one day, like when, just like your situation, I had to leave, and I'm like, oh, I actually qualify for this because I can't wait online either. Yeah. But yeah, so, I wish they would reconsider it at some point. I don't know how to get around that with them, but at least the cast members are nice enough to do things like that. And they really, it's just kind of the level of Disney service. And that's the problem. When you go there so much, you kind of get used to that. And then you go somewhere else and you're like, what is this?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Why are you going to help me? Yeah. Why are you telling me to have a magical day? Come on.
Yeah, I know. But like, so, I mean, I think it's like that comfort, knowing that even though you don't know this person, they're still going to help you if you need it. Unlike, if you just go somewhere else, you really don't know. So they're trained to help people. So it feels much more comfortable. Disney's an animal, is a total beast these days in terms of planning and timing. And it's a lot. And people get really overwhelmed by it, but I still think it's one of the best places to travel to as a family. And then Disney Cruise Line is just, I'm now obsessed with it. So I didn't want to go on cruises. I never wanted to. I was like, they're not for me. Mm-hmm. It seems weird to be stuck on a big thing in the middle of the water. And we tried one. There was a cruise out of New York. So I was like, all right, we don't have to fly anywhere.
Amazing. Yeah.
Let's just try it. And we did a 4-night on the Disney Dream to Bermuda. And we were like, this is the most amazing thing we've ever done. And now, I've been on 5. So
amazing.
We don't leave until we have the next one booked. Like, I can't wait to get back on a ship. So I have the bug.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, let's talk about some travel hacks. I'm going to tell you my travel hack.
Okay.
And it's such a dumb little tiny one, but I'm so excited about it. And people ask me every time they see me do it. So I found out how to put up on a plane, the aisle armrest.
Yep.
Okay. Like, you can put them up.
Mm-hmm.
They're all a little different depending on which plane you're on. But if you reach and you feel under there, you go all the way to the back of the arm and you look for it. There's probably a button and you can raise it up. And I'm not kidding. Every time I do it on a plane, somebody goes,
I know.
What?
Yeah.
Because I have gotten big bruises on my legs from trying to get in and out. And it's a lot. Now you got to put it back down. Otherwise, before you land, otherwise they're coming at you and telling you to put it down. But that's my tiny little travel hack. How about you? What are some travel hacks?
That's a really good one. My husband does that too, especially just trying to get all your stuff.
Just trying to get in.
It's hard. That one's great. One thing that I love is, and I'm not sponsored by this brand at all, but it's a bag called a Foldy. Have you seen those?
I have one.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You know what? I have the teal one. I'm not even lying. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that has been a game changer with us for travel, because we're like, okay, you always come home from vacation with stuff.
Totally.
Always. You're never not going to have extra stuff. So instead of packing another large bag, it folds up into about this big.
Yeah.
You put it in your luggage, and then you have a huge, it gets pretty big.
It gets very big for something that's like half the size of a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the size that it folds up to.
And so you have this whole other bag, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Coming back. And that has been total game changer, because we always have to use to find. I know people who like buy luggage on
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Bring stuff home.
Yeah.
So that has been a huge thing. If you want to sponsor me, Foldy, I gotcha. So that one has been really huge, but also, traveling with kids and stuff, just pack snacks. I know it's like a stupid hack, but like a lot of times you don't think about it when you're packing your clothes and your toiletries and stuff. Just, keeping yourself and the other humans you travel with, well fed,
with some protein.
Avoids a lot of fighting and
hangry. Yeah.
Yes,
agree.
Exactly.
Fully agree.
Totally. Not a ton of like travel hacks, I guess. I don't know.
I think those are big ones.
Yeah.
I now like to bring the Foldy, and I will carry on if I can. Now, if they're gate checking, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
I will hand it over and do a gate check, because I always have a change of clothes like in my backpack, so I'm good. But I'll bring the Foldy, and then on the way back, if I have to check it, but also I have an airline credit card. Again, this is, my privilege is showing, but I have an airline credit card, and I kind of got it because then I don't have to check a bag, because I travel enough that it makes sense, and then that first bag is free. So on the way back, I check that bag. And then also on the way back, like, I don't care. Like on the way there, I care where my stuff is. Yeah. On the way back, I don't care. If it gets lost, like for a couple of days, no totally biggie. It's just on the way there that I get a little precious about it. But on the way back, it's totally fine. And you know what else I've done? Now that I can check a bag for free because I have the credit card, when I'm flying one particular airline, no hope of them ever sponsoring me, so I'm not going to say the name. But my Foldy is my snack bag.
Oh,
that's my snack bag.
Yeah,
fill it full of snacks. I put in like my heating pad and like stuff that if it goes missing for like a day, or 2 days, like we can live. I'll be fine. But also kind of stuff that we might use while we're there. Yeah, and then I've got the room for souvenirs on the way back, And
that reminds me too. One thing is to make sure. So a lot of us, we take medications daily for IBD and everything. Yeah. To always keep that on you.
Always.
Like always keep that in your carry-on, like with you no matter what. Because that's the last thing you want, is for your bag to get lost and then to not have what you need in there. So any of those essentials, make sure that they are with you at all times, for sure. But I agree, looking into good, if you do travel, not even a lot, even if it's like once a year, looking into a good travel credit card. If there is an airline local to your area that, is something that you travel all the time, they do have, having perks like that. I also have one where it, you get that bag for free. You can check it. And for overpackers, you don't feel bad about bringing the big suitcase.
You also get on a little earlier, not very early.
Yeah.
A little earlier. I haven't had a gate check in a while because I get on and there's space for me.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then also like, having points and things, even if, you do just travel once a year, you don't have to pay for your flights. And that is flights are so expensive these days that being able to cover it with any sort of airline points or miles, whatever, your thing takes, it can be a huge saver and make your travel a lot more affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And then also to look into like TSA pre-check.
Gosh, yes.
Especially for people with IBD, because those security lines there can get long, and those people don't care about
you.
They don't care if you're getting.
You will not get out of line. No. It doesn't matter how nice you try to be.
Yeah, pre-check is such a lifesaver, and it is inexpensive. I think it's like $120.
Yeah, it's under 200 for 5 years.
Yeah. And all kids are covered. So anyone, I think it's under 12, I want to say, are covered under yours.
I think it's even higher than that now. So I think it's actually 17 and under, because I just traveled with my daughter who was 16. She did get to come with me through pre-check. Okay. But then I forgot, like right after my son turned 18.
To get his.
I forgot. So one of the first things that we did is I sent him and he went and got his.
Oh, okay. Because you didn't go through security and go, bye.
I mean, we did do it that time. We had to do that time because it didn't occur to me. But then when we got home, I was like, okay, go and handle it. Go. It was like literally just like going to the Staples and with a birth certificate or whatever.
It's so easy. Yeah. And it seems like an extra cost, but like, if you look at it, like
time, anxiety,
all of that, it is so worth it. Because I mean, especially, if you're going to Florida, sometimes those lines in Orlando to come back from Disney can be up to an hour. Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw this over, with the government shutdown.
And who knows if that'll happen again?
Yeah, you never know. So to have pre-check has been, I will never travel without it again. No. And then if you're going internationally, look into things like global entry, things like, there's a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
If you're traveling to different places, but that will really save you not only time, but like anxiety of having to wait in line and things like that. So
yeah, absolutely. And then I have another confession to make. This is my privilege of showing again. I did also sign up for Clear. I wasn't convinced. Now, your airport has to have it.
Yeah.
So Westchester County has it. JFK has it. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure where else, but Orlando has it.
Yeah.
And it really did help us like a lot.
Is it faster than pre-check?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, because they honestly take you right to almost the front of the line.
Yeah, like it's like almost.
It's a separate
area.
thing. And it depends on the airport. So it's not always going to work the same way wherever you are. But in Orlando, we went like right to the front of the line. And again, I want to say, because I have the airline credit card, I got a little discount.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like $130. Yeah. And then I'll tell you what happened. Then they sent me an email and said, you can have 3 free passes.
Oh.
So guess what? My husband and he doesn't have Clear. I just have it because I'm on planes like once a month. And I was able to give him a free pass. So then he was coming with me somewhere.
That's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Again, it's adding a couple $100 onto your trip.
Yep.
And I don't know how often you have to renew it, whether it's every year or every couple of years. Yeah. So you will have to renew it. But for right now, I'm just like, the way that my body is behaving, it has taken so much anxiety off me.
I think it's like finding any of those, thinking about what causes you stress when you travel. Like, what is it? What are those little things? And then finding how to put ease to those and to make them a little easier, because, there's always something. It just sometimes takes a little bit of digging, or, talking to a travel advisor who might know how to help you or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, again, going to Europe now, there's new restrictions on going to Europe that actually just went into effect. So like I'll get notices about that. And then any of my clients that are traveling, I'll send it out to them, whereas they might not know that. If
you could be in the middle of a trip.
Yeah. Something could change. So it's just, being aware of those things that, might cause you some stress or anxiety, and just figuring out how to make it more comfortable for you can make travel so much more accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
So, I think travel is so important, just for, mental health, to get out of your everyday, but also to like experience other cultures, meet new people, like, just do different things. It's so important. So I hate to think that people are, limiting themselves because of, say, a disability they may have and not wanting to do that. And there's always a way to make everything comfortable for them.
Yeah. So, you just have to ask.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst.
Sarah, I want everybody to be able to find you. I wish I had met you some years ago because you could have helped me out with some of our big family trips that we took. So where can folks find you online? Where can they find Halcyon Travel?
So I have a website that's halcyontravel.co, so .co. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I have my business site, which is Halcyon Travel Co. For both of those, which are more fully travel related information in terms of destinations and travel news. And then my personal is Sarah McGovern 99, which is also travel related, but more of my personal travels and my daily life, like my wildlife garden that's going on outside my house at the moment. So you'll get daily bird updates if you're into that too.
I'm 100% into that. Yeah.
But it's a mix of travel and daily mom life things in there too. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. Well, the beginning is that you reached out to me and were like, hey, lady, I am also like digging the Disney and let's work on something together. And so I loved that you did that and that we were able to make this work. And then
this is great.
We got on our call together and realized we live at like a half an hour from one another.
I don't even think it's that far. We're so close. It's great. I know. I love it.
And then I was able to find a place for us to get together and record.
I know. This is wonderful. It was like a added bonus. I just thought I was going to reach out to someone, but now I know someone new here in Connecticut. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, now we're friends.
Yes, of course.
Like you will never get rid of me. I'm so sorry to say.
Perfect.
But that's how it works.
I'm down.
So excellent. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really fun.
Hey, super listener. Check the show notes to find links and information about the topics discussed in this episode. Plus, get a written transcript and much more on my website, aboutibd.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with someone else or leaving a rating in your podcast app. Reviews and ratings help me grow this show and bring you more great content. Thanks for listening. And remember, until next time, I want you to know more about IBD. About IBD is a production of Mal and Tel Enterprises. It is edited, written, produced, and directed by me, Amber Tresca. Mix and sound design is by Mac Cooney. Theme music is from Cooney Studio. We could go to a beach or something and just sit there together.
Oh, that'd be fun. I'd do that. Go to a vineyard. That's more.
Oh, I like that even more. I like that idea even more.
It could be cool.